Hey everyone, checking in on the crypto space. Wearing glasses today as the plants are wildly dispersing their reproductive juices into the atmosphere, and it's messing with my eyes. But we're going to look at Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, and Binance, and rather than looking at the rest of the altcoins in the usual videos, going to go to some of the smaller cap coins that are seeing some runs. And we've seen multiple times in 2019 that while Bitcoin trades sideways, that's when the altcoins really get a brief moment to shine, where there's no correlations affecting things, and we usually see, again, the smaller cap coins getting those pumps because it requires less dollar volume to do so. So that's a nice environment for the altcoin traders to work in, just in the sense that they do have these little bursts of excitement that they can take advantage of, but for the most part, they are short-lived. So we have to keep an eye on that, and obviously, last thing we want to do is FOMO into a pump, and then next thing you know, you're buying near the top, and then holding on the pullback. So again, I personally am not trading the altcoin space, although it looks like with the changes to Coinbase, I might have to migrate over to Binance here sooner rather than later. But I'm not trading the altcoin space because trusting significant capital on exchanges is difficult for me to do, and that's where I need to go if I want to trade altcoins. So I am sticking to the marijuana sector and the stock market, which certainly has lots of volatility over the past few months. So starting it off with Bitcoin, we've also seen a pretty consistent pattern here where we've got the daily higher lows remaining intact, but the bears are defending resistance. So we've seen that with the bears sitting and waiting right at resistance and knocking the price down, and not much follow through for the bears after that initial rejection. It's like the bots turn on when we hit a certain price level in the low $4,000 range, knock the price down with some market sell orders, and then the bots shut off. And that's just what it feels like when observing. But at this point, after the last dump, we recovered, and now it's just been a slow fade. So we do have clear 4-hour lower highs to be watching, which are keeping the bears in control. I'm looking at 39.98, a lower high at 39.85, a lower high at 39.79, lower high 39.76. So just very incremental 4-hour lower highs on this pullback, and the support is down at 39.15, the low of that pretty emphatic bearish rejection that we did see. So if we lose the daily uptrend for Bitcoin by breaking 39.15, we then zoom out to the weekly time frame and we say, all right, our weekly lower high has been set. We need to pull back and try and form a higher low compared to 33.37. And that would give us the tightening equilibrium on the weekly time frame if we lose the daily uptrend. That being said, a lot of these altcoins have changed their weekly trend, and doing so without obviously the help of Bitcoin, as Bitcoin has not. So Litecoin on the daily time frame is getting tight. We have this resistance at 60.91 and 61, little bit of a double top up there, and the must hold support level is 56.80. So if we call that a double top, we have the high of the bull move, the low of a pullback, resistance 61, very clear psychological that we'll use here, and 56.80 is the must hold level, because if we lose 56.80, we lose the daily uptrend, which means we zoom out and look for healthy weekly consolidation to establish that higher low. And for the Litecoin bulls that missed an entry and want to get in looking for a weekly higher low, they are welcoming consolidation. We were very overextended the last 6 weeks, and if we can pull back here into the low $50 range, perhaps backtest the exponential support, keeping in mind that for any coin that is correlated with Bitcoin, if Bitcoin were to drop and break its weekly support and drop down to 3,000, we're obviously going to see a more magnified pullback in the most likely scenario for Litecoin and Ethereum and all these other major coins. So noticing just distinct differences between higher cap coins being more correlated to Bitcoin, and then the lower cap altcoins having some freedom where, a little surge in a couple $1 million coming in can significantly move the price. So all about the daily high or low for Litecoin and whether or not the bulls can hold that level. And looking at it on the 4-hour time frame, we can see a lot of sideways action. And if that 56.80 breaks, it'll be a notable shift on the daily time frame. Ethereum heading down towards its support as well, a little bit weaker than both Bitcoin and Litecoin. 132.21 is support. Anything under 137.50 is a lower high. And at this point, we've been seeing daily lower highs for a week and a half at this point. And it's clear that Ethereum is weaker than what we're seeing on Litecoin and some of these other names. And looking at it on the weekly time frame, we are looking at must hold support of 122.75 because we have a weekly resistance, the low of consolidation, a lower high, and that would change the weekly trend back clearly for the bears if we break 122.75. So we're currently still a good bit above that support level, but less than 10%. So just keep an eye out. If we see Bitcoin start to consolidate on the weekly by losing the daily uptrend, and we see Ethereum head down to this support level, potentially breaking weekly support, those are going to be some of the major cryptocurrency names giving us some bearish signals in the short term. Binance gave us those bearish signals, and then news saw a complete turnaround, volume spike, and erase that to higher highs. So the news here was update to Binance Launchpad token sale format. I'll post this article in the comments if you want to read it. But again, just the inability to short on most exchanges, and Binance with its news catalysts here in the short term, clearly establishing itself as one of the major names in the cryptocurrency space, one of the clear lead bulls. And again, we're just watching for indications that we need a weekly higher low to form, and it just looks like the news release here delayed that. Daily inside bar, very likely to form. 4-hour did change the trend with a lower high and lower low, so we're going to have to see a clear change in the hourly trend to indicate that our daily higher low has been established. At this point, a good bit of that hype has faded, down about 5% plus from that high. So definitely want to be cautious at these levels on Binance, especially if we do see, Bitcoin and Ethereum show us those bear breaks. That being said, we know Binance can trade inverse to what those names are doing, better than almost any other coin in the cryptocurrency space. So we will, again, just be looking for a healthy weekly higher low. And again, on a move like this, you have to assume that there's going to be bulls to buy the weekly consolidation, just like on Litecoin. The stronger the move, the more traders miss that move or want to get back in. And that weekly consolidation is a good opportunity to look for those entries rather than buying into the hype. So some of the other names that have been running in the short term. So EVX BTC on Binance here, obviously a huge volume day today. And just in terms of percentage move, 250%, bringing back the old days in terms of cryptocurrency gains. So 250% in one day. And again, I do not know the fundamentals behind these coins. I'll have to check out and see if Crypto Nuggets News, Alex in Australia, has been covering them. But essentially, we're watching the 5-minute uptrend here, which is now just shifting. So we had the high, low of the pullback, lower high, higher low. We can even look at this. This is liquid enough that the 2-minute time frame showed us this equilibrium. Haven't gone on the 2-minute time frame for crypto in a long time, but high, low, lower high, higher low, pretty much a double top, higher low, lower high. Bear break was 2222. And now that we have lost the 5-minute uptrend with that bear break, 205 is the most important support. And if we zoom out to the hourly time frame, we can look for hourly consolidation to begin to form that higher low. So this is the kind of move that's less of a pump and dump in the sense that we had a very clear 5-minute uptrend and huge continuation. Again, it is looking toppy now, so we need some hourly consolidation, but we compare it to these other couple names and they're less significant strength in their moves. So this is REN BTC, and again, huge move to the upside, 80% today. But if we look at the 5-minute time frame, this move did not last nearly as long. We did get a higher low and higher high of continuation, but then we gave it all right back. So a lot of opportunity to lose some money here, pulling back 28% in just, under an hour. So again, got to be very cautious playing these names, certainly only if you have a lot of experience trading fast movers and scalping. But we're looking at a shift in momentum. So it looks like the hourly higher low has established down at 635. Need a confirmation of the 5-minute trend change. This move has broken the 5-minute lower highs, but we need the 5-minute higher low and higher high to confirm that trend change. And we would then be looking at a lower high forming compared to 89. So odds that this move just heads straight back up to 89 are not likely. Let's see the 15-minute time frame. We can see the odds of a lower high are very likely. So more of a pump and dump on REN. And for GNT BTC, certainly haven't looked at this one in a while, but Gollum here with a big upper wick clearly in the 2-3 range. There's a lot of resistance as we have seen a big pump and then rejections 3 times in the past couple of weeks. So on the 5-minute time frame here, it was even more of a quick move. Did not see a 5-minute real higher low and higher high, just a little sideways continuation, and then gave it all back. So that is much more of a pump and dump on this 5-minute time frame than those other names. So again, if you're just looking at these altcoins and looking for fast runners, you want to ensure that you're building support on the way up and seeing follow through. That's when you know it's less of a pump and dump. It's taking longer to play out. You know, the higher lows are building support. And when you see GNT just go straight up and then straight down, it is a pump and dump scenario. Not saying anything fundamentally about the coin, just in terms of, you know, people aren't buying to hold on to that coin if you're going to give back 90% of the move in less than a couple hours of trading. So that's where we stand. We'll check back in on those other altcoins in the near term future. Certainly been slow as far as the major cryptocurrencies go. But again, there are some opportunities in these altcoins that get fast runners. You want to ensure that you're watching these moves and have alerts set to be able to act on them rather than, you know, coming in an hour after the bull move and trying to scrape away some gains, because that's when the risk to reward is not going to be in your favor to chase those moves. So we'll see if we can hold on to these supports for Bitcoin and Ethereum. But if we do not, Bitcoin weekly consolidation will be underway, and it'll be a weekly equilibrium that has been forming for months at this point after the resistance double top that just occurred. Thanks again. Hope you're doing well. Do good things out there. We'll be back soon as there is some action in the cryptocurrency space. So leaving Boulder, Colorado, heading west towards Utah, leaving the sunset in the rearview mirror. And again, just not really a whole lot of stories for this chapter, but just some more scenery as I make my way west. Again, just another incredible spot where you drive up a dirt road. You have this massive expanse in front of you with nobody around. Nobody drove up this road while I was there. You pull off to the side and you pitch your tent and you sleep there. And that's what you wake up to, and that's what you go to sleep to. And it's just this magnificent, it's just hard to put into words when you're out that open by yourself in that massive space. It's great. Do it. Get to know yourself. Be comfortable by yourself. When you're comfortable by yourself and you're confident by yourself, there's nothing that can bring you down. So many fears are based on boredom or being alone or needing to be with someone, needing a partner. And if you can conquer all of that and be good to go by yourself, in my opinion, that is a significant, I don't want to say skill to have, but a significant comfortability in your life that can make a lot of potentially negative situations very positive. And there's a lot less fear. When you know you're good to go on your own, there is a lot less fear. So some more epic hikes, trails, landscapes, lakes, mountains, trees, landscape changing, entering more arid, deserty. Utah is definitely a different state in the sense that, you know, I'd be driving around. There's some moo friends. I'd be driving around and just pull off the side of the road and filter my fresh water in Colorado. I didn't really have to plan ahead too much. But driving around in Utah, it's an arid landscape, and definitely want to have a lot of water on hand because there are long stretches with lots of miles in between any sources of water. A lot of these backgrounds, expansive, they just look like paintings. It almost doesn't even look real with how far away they are. So next we will go to Dinosaur National Monument, which is on the east border of Utah. And then we'll go down to Canyonlands and Arches, and we'll do all those national parks. Those are some great ones as well. Definitely highlights of the trip. And I will see you then. Have a great rest of your day.